This is going to be a video on how to create the center line that goes through all these holes to locate the center of these holes off of this diameter here. Then I'll also create these lines here. So I have an AutoCAD model up, and what we have to do is go into the draw environment. Let's go ahead and zoom up on this view. And it's a very simple process. We want to use a layer for the center lines. So center lines is going to be what's active. And in that layer, we should have center, and then the line type be center type, and the thinnest possible line type it can be. Okay, so those are going to be center lines. Axis lines and all that should be on the same layer. So I'm simply going to go to circle with a radius, which is the default. Again, if you forget how to use it, it's saying to select, just leave it there and it'll come up with the help with selecting the center as step number 1. Step number 2 is selecting the other point that would represent the radius, the distance from point 1 to point 2 defines the radius. Under my settings, I want to have center active. So if you hit the down arrow, where is that? If I switch this to paper model, you can click on this and go to snap settings. Under 3D object snap, I have center active somewhere. Oh, I'll make sure, where is center at? Oh my god. Why don't I see that? Oh, object snap. And we make sure that the center is turned on here. Make sure you're in paper mode when you're working on the draw environment. So in the tab called Assign 10F, we're going to be in the model tab or paper tab by selecting on model to switch it back to paper. I want to turn the grid off, so I got to click on this to turn the grid off and then click back on the model to go back to paper. Now that that is set up, also knowing that you can right click to turn that on is another way to do this. You can right click and then object set. But I've already just showed you how to turn it on. So, oh shoot. So I'm going to go to circle radius, and I'm going to put my cursor on the edge. And what happens is it finds the center of the circle and allows me to just click. I'm going to maximize this screen here. I must have kicked that out. Center radius. You notice that when I leave my cursor there for a second, it tells me it's going to use center and snap to the center of that one. And I could snap to the center of any one of these. If I just wait a second, it'll say center. When I click, it creates that circle that snapped to the center. And these all were in alignment. Now I have a center line I can dimension to. Also, you may want to go to layers. I'm going to use dimension and go to annotate and use center mark and grab the biggest arc, and it gives me a center line I can work with. And then I could go back to the home tab on the top left and select line. And then this line is going to be a center line. And it goes from the center. Again, I could go here, intersection, or I could just go out here. I like to do center. I just like knowing that they are going to be concentric. So I select the edge of that curve, and I select the edge of that curve, and then I hit I'm going to hit line again, and just do another one from that intersection to this center. If I hit enter, it turns that off. If I hit enter again, it turns the line back on, and I could go from this endpoint of the last line I did, or intersection, or center, and I'm going to use center on this one, and then hit enter to tell it I'm done, and then enter. Oh, what happened? Enter again to let it know I want to do another one. So I'm going to grab the edge of that circle to the edge of this circle, and then hit enter to tell it I'm done. Okay, and that's how you get these lines in there. And the purpose of those lines are so that you can go to the annotate tab on the top and convert this to an angle, and then you could dimension to this edge here and to this edge over here, and then put your dimension on. Thing I did wrong here was I got to make sure to be back on dimensions when I create that. So when I click on this, I want to make sure that this is set to dimension. Okay, all these should be red. Okay, so I just hit line just to get out of this. All right, and again, the other circle here was for doing the diameter call out. So we'll switch to annotate and change this angular call out to the diameter call out. And then you have to put on your tolerance limits. So you got to click on it, go to properties by doing a contextual menu, or right click on that dimension. And then you're looking for the tolerance. So here's tolerance here. And we want to display limits for this particular one. And then you type in whatever numbers you want for tolerance. So precision tolerance, I'll just, for kicks, I'll change that to 3 places. I don't remember what the directions were. And then you can add your upper and lower tolerance. For example, if I say 02 for upper, you'll notice that this changes. Watch this change to add the 6.2. As soon as I hit tab to accept that. Oh, sorry, this is the lower one here. I changed the lower one, 02. I'll change this one to 01 and hit tab, and you saw that change to one place. All right, hope that helps complete this demo.